evening. Let's talk some fantasy football. So the NFL draft is officially in the books. So we know where everybody went, and we are as disappointed as ever, I would say. Not great landing spots for almost anybody. But now we can at least talk about Dynasty fantasy football value a little bit better. We're talking about these rookies, how they are going to be this year, how they're going to be for the future. We're going to do a 3-round, 12-team PPR Dynasty rookie draft. So a lot of people are doing the rookie drafts right now, or maybe you're doing a rookie draft after you do your startup draft, whatever it may be. We're here to help you out. If you have any questions, definitely ask in the live chat and we'll answer them. Or if you're watching this after the fact, you're over on our new YouTube channel anyway. If you're not there, if you look at the YouTube channel in the description at Fantasy Flurry, it's the Flurry Sports Fantasy Football YouTube channel that's just created. Go and subscribe because all of our fantasy football videos are going to be over there this year. So definitely go subscribe over there. I'm going to be doing a lot more Dynasty rookie content over the next couple of weeks. My rankings for rookies should be out tomorrow, and then you'll see videos about that as well. So please go subscribe over there. We're trying to hit 1,000, hopefully before the NFL season. That would be ideal. So definitely go check that out. Yes,
I have a quick question before we start. Just kind of polling you guys, because we've all been in Dynasty leagues for a handful of years now and are pretty experienced in it. For rookie drafts, do you have a suggestion? If someone's like, "Hey, we're doing our rookie draft. When should we do it?" It feels like immediately after the draft, right? Because I know people that wait until couple days before the season starts, so we know what everyone's role is going to be. But as someone who likes a little bit more chaos, I think immediately after the draft is the way to do it. I think that's a more fun way to do it, right?
It's better. Like, why are we? It's better because then if somebody pops off in training camp or something like that who went undrafted, then you have something to actually bid for on waivers. Otherwise, we're not really bidding for very many people anyway, and it rewards the people who did their research in the draft process. It rewards people who are paying attention during training camp and stuff like that, and mini camp and the rest of the offseason. So, yeah, I think the ball knowers should draft early. If you are in a family dynasty league, I can't imagine there's that many of those, and they're super casual, but then I guess you can wait. But I don't like it. I don't like waiting. I would do it before. I've said this before. I would do it before the NFL draft. It was my
agreed.
choice. I think it's way more fun. And then you get to be. Imagine how disappointed you would have been this year during the NFL draft. But I think that I want to do another dynasty league, and that does that because I think it's so much more fun because then you're like glued to the draft. Then,
right?
That would be wild. And I agree that this is the time to do rookie drafts. I will say I think dynasty startup drafts. I would prefer those closer to the kickoff. So if you're starting a new dynasty league where you're drafting, all the way through before a standard redraft time frame, I like to have those as close to kickoff as possible because you never know who's going to pop something in the last week or whatever. It sucks every year. It seems to happen, but much closer to the start of the season for a startup.
I hate the redraft leagues that are like the same week of the kickoff. Hate it. Can't stand it, but
I do. I'm in a league we do
perfect.
We do redraft like 12 hours before the season starts.
Hate that. Like, grow up. We could have a little bit of uncertainty. I think everyone like talks about like the Jordy Nelson injury and stuff like that. Like, that's good. Draft better players.
One of the best moments in redraft was when my brother-in-law drafted J.K. Dobbins and then said, "Don't worry, if he gets hurt, I'm going to draft his backup," whoever it was at the time. And then they both tore their ACLs in week 3 of training camp. That's part of the fun.
I did that for Scott Fishbowl. That one was a bummer. I was not super big fan of that.
I have talked about over recent show, like on the draft show, of like NFL media moments that have been, or sports media moments that have been awesome. I'm not a good guy, but I remember O.J. Simpson drafting Andrew Luck, and then Andrew Luck immediately was out in the preseason. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, no one talks about that element of it.
Right.
OJ was upset. Not a person you want on your bad side, I don't think. But
so to recap, Jordy Nelson,
who's laughing now?
Jordy Nelson, J.K. Dobbins backup in Baltimore that year, and who did Luke just say? There's so many names I forgot. Andrew Luck, all just caught us straight for no reason.
Le'Veon Bell was a big one too.
Yeah, that one was tough.
Yeah.
That one was not great. But let's get into this. So rookie draft, obviously in your own rookie draft, you're going to be prioritizing players based on what you need, right? What we are just going to do a blanket across the board if you have a need at every position, right? But as the draft goes along, we are a little bit smarter. So if I take a quarterback at 101, which I'm not going to, I'm not going to be taking Ty Simpson at 201 because I already got my quarterback. But I'm not going into this draft thinking I need a quarterback or thinking I need a running back, even across the board. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And obviously, we're not trading picks, even though I mentioned two already. Yeah, even though it's a mock draft, that means nothing. I am already thinking about trading. But let's just get going. I'm 101. So I'm going to be drafting 1, 5, and 9, 12-team PPR. Obviously, Jeremiah Love is still the 101 pick. It is very disappointing that he went to the Cardinals, but you guys have heard me all the time talking about you got to trust the money with running backs in particular, and he's the highest paid running back in the NFL, which is crazy. It's baffling, but he is, and he's going to be getting plenty of work this year. He'll be getting even more work next year and a couple years from now, I would imagine. So easy 101 pick. Just don't overthink it.
I said that he should retire as soon as he signs his contract. So, I mean, that's how much money he's getting. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Right. We've been saying this for the last year that he's 101 in dynasty drafts coming up. Stick to the plan. Don't shy away from it. It's a very easy pick to make. Don't get too crazy. Yep. I'll follow that up and I said too, like, I'm going to take Cardinal Tate here, but I said, I think depending on where you're drafting, obviously what you need and everything, or when you're drafting, like, I think there's a case that Cardinal Tate could be the number one if you need an immediate guy who's going to go out, because he feels like the most, maybe not, to me, he feels like the most likely guy receiver who's going to step in and be the guy for his team. I've been on record saying I love when young quarterbacks and young receivers kind of team up together and kind of grow together. I would imagine Cam Ward and Cardinal Tate are probably already throwing the ball to each other. With given Dayball, and it feels like Tennessee's somewhat on a rise. It feels like they maybe even have a chance to win the division. It feels like Cardinal Tate is kind of the go-to guy. Now, I know Wandale's there and all these other guys are there, but it feels like Tate is going to be the guy, at least maybe, for the second half of this year into next year. I think he'll be a really good player for Tennessee.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that brings me up at number 3. I would say I am happy to take Jordan Tyson here. I think there's an argument to be made that he should be viewed or as somebody who can go ahead of Carnell Tate at 1.2, depending on how you want to build things out and stuff. Obviously,
I
we
agree.
talked about it in the lead up to the draft. There's the injury concerns. There's some kind of maturity concerns. There's definitely things he needs to clean up as far as his game on the field as well. But I like the landing spot a lot. I gather just from listening and conversing with you guys that I might be a little bit almost too bullish on the Saints going into this year and beyond, but I liked what I saw from Tyler Shuck last year. Chris Olave is still the one. Tyson doesn't have that pressure that Carnell Tate might have from day one. And Olave got something like, I think it was 32% of all the targets in this offense went to him last year. That needs to come down for them to be successful. So Tyson will get targeted.
Yeah, on top of that, we talk about all the time when you talk about Chris Olave, if he gets more head injury, it's probably game over for him. So where did that 32% of the targets go if he's out?
Yeah.
100%.
Agree.
And my rankings come out tomorrow. Tyson will be my top-rated wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
We'll keep it moving at 4. I think out of all the landing spots, he's actually my favorite. I'm going to go with Price at 4. I personally think Zach Charbonnet sucks at football. I understand that's me being biased as somebody who owns Kenneth Walker. He's not that bad, but Seattle has a big running back hole, and they clearly like using 2. And I don't like the landing spots for the other wide receivers or tight ends. So just seems like he's a good option to always have work. So I like him at 4.
Yeah, I wrote up in the rankings that Price is the pick you make if you're contending this year, because I think his overall NFL life in terms of how good he is short. I'm not convinced he's that great in the second half of this year when Charbonnet comes back. I don't think he's necessarily that good of a football player, but at the moment he's going to see a lot of touches, and I don't think you can say that for really anybody else except for Love.
I think that I might have been the only person on earth to like have Zach Charbonnet on their fantasy team over the last couple of years because I've been loving Zach Charbonnet. And everyone talks
He's
about
been good.
how much they hate the Seattle backfield. Like, no, man, this has been fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I imagine he misses at least a month of the season. So we'll see what happens. I'm picking number 5, and I'm very happy to take Mekhi Lemon. I think Mekhi Lemon's a very good football player. Yeah. AJ Brown, whether he's traded or not, I don't think it necessarily matters. The Eagles have been so terrible in the middle of the field because no one in the middle of the field can get open or run routes. And now Mekhi Lemon comes and serves that exact need. My only worry is that Eli Stowers also is going to be a lot of the slot receiver snaps at tight end. But I think Mekhi Lemon he's probably the best of the 3 wide receivers, in my opinion, at what he does. I think his ceiling's lower than Tyson, but I just think he's an extremely safe player. A lot of people comparing him to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't understand that comparison other than they both play slot and they both went to USC. So it's kind of the White Edelman thing. You know what I mean? So Lemon's a very good player. He's not Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think he's going to be very safe for the Eagles.
It's an interesting spot for him to me. And maybe it's because they haven't had a player that could play that middle of the field. But with Philadelphia, right, it feels like over, at least in the Jalen Hurts tenure, it's been hard to support 2 receivers for fantasy football when they've had 2 very good receivers in AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, right? Like, right, we come on this show every single week and we talk about, is Devontae Smith startable? And most of the times he isn't. So to add another receiver in that mix kind of boggles my head a little bit. But again, maybe it's to the point of we've never had a guy that can actually be this good of a player to work the middle of the field. So I like that analysis.
I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, you're more bullish on Smith than I am, but regardless, they're 2 very good outside receivers, but they don't do anything really that makes the quarterback's life that easy, at least in terms of how the offenses have been schemed. So there's been if you want to criticize Jalen Hurts, fully fine. There hasn't been very many super easy throws for Jalen Hurts to make to those 2. And now he's at least going to have, we've seen Dallas Goedert thrive in games. And that's just because he's been an easy target underneath. So now if Lemon is going to serve that role a little bit more this year, great.
And I guess it makes sense, right? Right, the run game was so bad last year. If you can get the slot receiver behind the linebackers and just get him to cheat back a little bit, Saquon Barkley is going to run every single run for a touchdown then.
Right. You are on the clock.
It feels like these are probably the top 5 picks, and it kind of feels like you can go a litany of different ways here with this. When we talk about the receivers, guys stepping into like featured roles, right? Tate and Tyson feel like they can be that. Lemon to somewhat of a degree, but really the only guy who's kind of stepping into maybe a number 1 role is Denzel Boston, right? Is a guy, right? I've talked about Cleveland can't go into the season with Jerry Jeudy as their wide receiver 1. So based on just volume alone, I know quarterback is a major concern at Cleveland, and I'm not diminishing that, but the guy who should be the number 1 receiver come the start of the season, it feels like Denzel Boston. So I'm just going to take Denzel Boston just based off of, it feels like this is a great value pick. If you get Denzel Boston at 6.
Yeah, obviously he was drafted 2nd of the 2 receivers, but he's clearly the X, right? He's an outside receiver, and we'll see what Concepcion does, I guess. But he will be given every opportunity to have the highest ceiling in Cleveland, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it feels like
that's an interesting course of action there. Like you staking your claim, like everyone is Casey Concepcion, borderline top 5 pick, depending on need and all that, obviously. But to your guy's point, he doesn't really profile as that 1.
He also, like Denzel Boston, to me feels like if you're gonna have shitty quarterback play, it's like, oh fuck it, Denzel Boston's down there somewhere, and he's gonna get 50-50 balls thrown to him.
Right, but he'll also be, if the quarterback is that bad, it's going to be a high risk, high reward thing. Like there will be weeks where he's terrible, where Concepcion can at least warrant 5 targets underneath. So, yeah, I think he's a higher ceiling, lower floor player than Concepcion, but we'll see what happens. It's Dynasty. You're not necessarily drafting for this year either.
Yep.
Henry, you're on the clock.
Yeah, Luke, you kind of put me in an interesting spot here because I just figured you would go Concepcion at 6. I like him as a player. A whole lot. I have some trepidation that he landed in Cleveland, I think overall, which this is not trying to take away from your points on Boston at all. I just have my concerns, I think, because the Browns can never figure out quarterback or seemingly the passing game. So I'm gonna stick with my original plan here and go Kenyon Sadiq because I am very excited about him as a football player and quietly, perhaps a little more cautiously optimistic about him within the Jets offense from a fantasy perspective as well. Just kind of what I think they're going to try to do. Frank Reich's in there as the offensive coordinator now. I think, as far as I'm concerned, Mason Taylor can stick around. They can run two tight end sets. We talked about the Jets a fair bit, at the end of the draft stream last week, and I wasn't buying what Zach, I think, was trying to put down because it was late at night at that point. But the next day I looked at stuff more and I'm sadly starting to buy in. So Kenyon Steak, though, is a great player. And I think he has a long, long future to go forward with and be excited about from a dynasty standpoint. And tight end, is what it is. So if it hits, great for you.
What was I saying at the end of the draft stream? I don't even remember what I said.
You were
getting me
trying to convince Luke specifically, but I was kind of sitting there shaking my head too that the Jets might not be bad offensively.
Oh.
Let's move that right to pick number 8.
Oh, okay. I had one more thing to say about Sadiq.
No, go ahead with Sadiq, but I'm just saying you might as well put Omar Cooper at 8, and I'll say why after Luke.
Okay, sure. Just Sadiq, and you guys can tell me if I'm way off base on this. Sadiq, he doesn't go to a very good offense on paper, right? This feels similar to a Harold Thanon situation. Now, I know they're going to play very different positions and play, line up in different parts of the field. But, this is one of the better athletes in the draft. For my money, Harold Thanon was one of the better athletes in the last draft, where he's just such a good player. You have to get him on the field and just get him the ball however you can get him the ball. And Harold Thanon was a 1,000-yard guy last year. Feels like Sadiq can be something similar this year.
I agree. However, in college, when he was even bigger, faster, stronger than everyone there, I guess my critique would be why didn't they do that at Oregon? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, if you liked Sadiq going into the draft, I think you should feel the exact same way. If you were worried because he wasn't productive in the draft, heading into the draft, I think you should feel the exact same way too. With the Jets here, they didn't draft him to split time with anybody. So
right.
I think he's going to be given the opportunity to be good. I think he's pretty raw. I think he has the potential to be outstanding. There is no given that he's going to be an outstanding football player or not. But I think the Jets have plans for him, and I can't say that they necessarily do for Mason Taylor or really anybody else on that team. And what's to say they don't trade Garrett Wilson tomorrow? This
right.
is a team willing to trade away their stars, and I think Garrett Wilson's a bitch. So maybe they think so as well. So if you like Sadiq, there's no one who really dropped further in dynasty value during the draft than him. So I think you're getting a pretty good value. Even at 7, I think it's a value.
Can I ask too, who makes these projections? Because how do you project Kenyon Sadiq to have 2 rushes for 9 yards?
Hey, he's got at least 2 in him. Maybe 3.
Yeah, it feels like a really weird projection. All right. Sorry, Trevor. I've been cutting you off.
Let's revisit this at the end of the year.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm going to take the over on it.
Okay. There you go.
I'll take over 9 rushing yards this year for Kenyon Sadiq.
Love it. Okay. Trevor, another piece of that offense is Cooper.
Omar Cooper at 8. It's really hard to get many passes or many balls to Garrett Wilson when his quarterback play sucks. Also, when he has no other options. I like Omar Cooper. He'll open the field up more for all the other options. Field will be more open for him. What does he get from quarterback play? Hell if I know. But he's one of the I like his situation better than anybody else on the board. I actually like him better than Kenyon Sadiq, so I like him here at 8.
Yeah, Cooper's a very solid football player, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. So I am at 9, and I'll draft the final player who I have in my tier 2 in my rankings. I have 3 tiers done. My final player at tier 2 is Fernando Mendoza. So obviously, if you're quarterback needy, I could see him going earlier than 9. But if you're in a single quarterback league, everyone has their quarterbacks. He could certainly drop to 10, 11, 12. Never know. He's not going to give you that instant gratification. If Cousins is playing well and the Raiders hope he does, then maybe Mendoza doesn't even see the field during his rookie year. I think he will at some point, but they're hoping he doesn't. But I think Mendoza, can make any throw. I don't think physically he's anything crazy, but I think he can do anything asked of him, and I think mentally he's very good. And that's the only thing you need in a Kubiak system. It's kind of like a Pat Shurmur system. It's just, the quarterback's going to be put in the right position, make the right read at the line of scrimmage, throw it to the open player, and a lot of people mess that up. Darnold did that for the most part last year. It's not like Darnold learned how to play football good. He just got babied in a great offense. We saw Eli Manning do it with Pat Shurmur. We saw Sam Bradford do it with Pat Shurmur. They set passing records with completion percentage. That's what Mendoza is going to be able to do probably in 2027 because the Raiders desperately need receiving talent still. But if you can sit and wait, I think Mendoza is as good of a pick as you can make in this first round too.
Yeah, I agree. I struggle with the fact that this guy's a nerd and I hate nerds. And if he sucks, I'm going to be pissed having a nerd on my team. But
sure,
I don't know. That's my analysis.
It's also,
well, everything you said, I agree with.
If you don't have a taxi squad as well, it's going to be tough to draft them because some dynasty
Right.
leagues don't have that, and that just eats up a roster spot, which stinks.
Yep.
One question for you guys. This may be out of left field and make no sense, but if you are in a super flex or a 2 quarterback dynasty rookie draft, is Mendoza locked in at 1.2? Is there an argument to put him over Jeremiah Love at 1.1? Would he fall perhaps below 1.2 in that format?
I think he could still for sure go under 1.2. I think Love is still pretty close to locked in at 1.1. I think just getting a good running back and in a position that he kind of has long-term security. Like, I'm not sure if you can bank on any other running back in the NFL being a starter in 4 years. Like, I think almost Bijan Robinson might be the only one. Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, there's very few. So I think Love has too much value based on that. But could Mendoza go ahead of the wide receivers? 100%. He's right there. He's in that same tier.
This is I'm up here at 10. This is a really interesting spot if you're drafting here, because this feels like if you're drafting, right, we're not playing by these rules, but if you're drafting here, you probably had a good team last year. You can probably afford to take a guy that you can wait on. So this feels like a really good spot for Ty Simpson. Given what we're doing, I'm not going to make that pick, but I want to preface it by saying that if we are doing that, I might do something crazy here. It feels like I'm going to take Jonah Coleman. I don't love the receivers on the board here. I don't love the spots that they're at. Star Wars is maybe a better pick here. But we know how the Sean Payton offense runs. He's just gonna take 5 running backs and throw them all at your face. And it's like, hey, try to stop them. We know that these Denver running backs get hurt, right? J.K. Dobbins got hurt, and that kind of propelled R.J. Harvey to get hurt. So what's to say that one of these guys doesn't get hurt and Jonah Coleman steps into that R.J. Harvey role of last year? With the small 220, 230-pound running back just diving in touchdowns. Now, I don't think that this is a long play. I don't think that Jonah Coleman's ever going to finish his a season as RB1. But if we're looking for touchdowns are points, and I think Jonah Coleman is as good of an option to score a touchdown as anyone on if any of these Bronco running backs get hurt. Now, maybe this is a reach for him at 10, but I think he's probably the next best running back here, right?
100%. I don't think that's a reach. I thought he was the second best running back in the NFL draft, and he's clearly the Dobbins replacement, right? But he's also a good receiver. Like, he's Mark Ingram. Yeah. That might be a lazy comparison, but like, that's the Sean Payton system. Like, that's what they're hoping he can be. Will he be that this year? Probably not, but they're hoping he can grow into that.
I also love Casey Concepcion. I just can't make a team with 2 Cleveland Browns wide receivers. So
sure.
Yeah,
Henry
to your
the clock.
To your point, Luke, like, Dobbins can get hurt anytime, and behind that you have RJ Harvey there, but afterwards it's McLaughlin, it's Bidet, I think is how they say his name. So, opportunity is perhaps more real there than you might think for Coleman in Denver.
Also, did you guys see the picture of Bo Nix's leg? It does not look great.
No, it doesn't look good.
He looks very bow-legged, so I don't necessarily know that he's going to be running much come the most immediate part of his upcoming career.
Agreed.
So back to me at 1 first round, 11th overall. I considered him at 4 picks ago at number 7, I will happily take Concepcion here. I look at this and think to myself, I'm getting a discount on a guy that a lot of people seem to be thrusting up into 5th or 6th
Yeah.
overall in just pure dynasty rankings right now. I agreed with Luke's points on Boston earlier and what he could potentially become there in terms of, the players fitting into the roles within the offense. But I'll happily take Concepcion. He's a great talent. Loved watching
Good
him
value.
over the past year at A&M. So
I don't like any of the receivers here, to be completely honest. So I'm not going to go receiver. I'm going to go Stowers at tight end. I don't like taking a tight end. I don't think Stowers is that great of a player, but there's a role for him. And I shouldn't say that he's not that great of a player. He's a solid player. I don't want to undersell him, but it just feels like kind of a pick you're not super happy for at 12. But he's got a role. He's a tight end that can help any tight end needy team. If you're drafting back here, probably need less. And there's so many question marks about all the wide receivers. I want the least big question mark, which is Stowers.
You got to be able to sit and wait, but I love quarterback converts to tight end. Like, it just works. They see the field differently. You have to be smart to play tight end. You have to know how to play football to play tight end. So Dallas Goedert's back in Philly, but probably a matter of time for him if he learns how to play the tight end position. But after going Jeremiah Love, I'm back on the clock here. A lot of receivers to Trevor's point, and none of them outstanding. I will go. I think there's too many question marks for all these receivers. I'm going to go Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I was going to take him next.
Yeah, especially if you have a taxi squad, definitely do this. If you have a taxi squad and you're able to sit and wait 1 year, if you have one that you can put him in for 2 years, even better. To say he has a ceiling any lower than Mendoza's ceiling would be foolish. I think he skill-wise is close to Mendoza. I don't think he's as good, but I think he's close. And then if he gets to play for McVay, gets to throw to Puka, gets to throw to some of these tight ends they have there, you probably won't get Devontae Adams, right? But he's going to be on a good offense and learn from a good quarterback and learn from a good coach. So I think the future is bright for Simpson.
Yep, like I said, I would have taken him where I took Coleman, but I agree 100%.
Okay, your second pick.
Maybe I'm going to go Zachariah Branch here, and this might be it's an interesting pick because he's a guy who came in as a 5-star at USC, right, and then transferred to Georgia. His college career never really took off to what we knew him to be in high school. But he goes to Atlanta that all of a sudden has a little bit of a need at receiver, right? So I think he has as good of a shot as anyone here in the second round to really make an impact right away, right? He's going to be behind Olamide Zaccheaus, but he's competing with Casey Washington, Chris Blair, Devin Thompson. Like, nothing you're looking at like that. What the fuck ever, So Zachariah Branch, I think, could step into not a feature role, but definitely a rotational role very early in his career here.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
all right, so took Tyson in the first round with this team. It's a whole lot of wide receivers, and anything else beyond that right now to me feels like a reach. So I guess are we really trying to get different positions on different teams here, or just kind of open-ended?
Build your team.
All
Yeah, you're
right.
drafting a team.
Sounds good. So I am going to go. I think we'll go Jeremy Bernard here. I feel like the Steelers have something going with their receivers. Obviously, they had Pittman in the offseason, DK Metcalf still there. But behind them going into the draft, it was a major position of need because there was no reliable third option. Bernard is instantly that. I don't think he's going to have to work too hard to win that job. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's work ethic or anything like that. But some concerns, I think, out of the gate here in year number 1 because Aaron Rodgers may not want to go to a rookie all that often. I get that. But I think going forward, I like his outlook there. I think the offense overall will get a jolt with McCarthy in there. So I would take that swing.
We're filling a team, and what do we always say about fantasy? Fantasy football is a stock market. So give me Emmett Johnson at Kansas City. I don't love that he ended up here. And I love Emmett Johnson, not only because he carried my college dynasty team last year, but that's beside the point. Kenneth Walker obviously landed in Kansas City. Outside of him, it is a barren fucking wasteland. It's like trying to find the nearest city to Kansas City. And guess what? Ken Walker doesn't stay healthy all that much. So I can definitely see a scenario where halfway through the season, Emmett Johnson is suddenly the guy, puts 2 performances. Somebody needs a trade for a running back, change pace, flex, whatever it may be to make the playoffs. You can flip them for a second round next year in a much better draft or whatever it may be. Who knows? Maybe Kenneth Walker tears his ACL. We don't know. But in a draft class with a lot of question marks, I like Emmett Johnson in a pretty. We know his floor. That's what I'll say. We know his floor, and I like his ceiling.
Is the closest city to Kansas City, or is that all one city, right? Because it kind of splits the border. Is that considered 2 different cities?
It's technically
Yeah.
all one city, I thought. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But
I think
St.
there's
Louis
2
outside of that.
Yeah.
There is a
Hmm.
Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas officially.
Right.
Yes, but I think there's 2 mayors as well, is there not?
That I couldn't confirm for you. I'm not a political guy.
I'm not sure. If you have 2 mayors, you don't have 1. So do you have 0 mayors or 1 mayor? Would be the better question. I apologize.
Is the city of
Perhaps
Kansas City politics like the Cleveland Browns, or I guess Cleveland Browns of city politics, Kansas City?
I don't know. I have a follow-up question. Did you
People are asking.
were you leading to anything with your initial question or no? Or was it just
Trevor-
curiosity?
No, Trevor said that
It's loose.
the closest city to Kansas City. You can't even name it. I said, I think it's Kansas City.
Oh, Manhattan, maybe. Who knows? Not sure. Okay, so I am
Shout out
back on the
Michael
clock.
Beasley.
I took Mekhi Lemon first, and now there's a bunch of wide receivers that I'm currently in the process of figuring out how to rank for my actual rankings. So maybe this will be my actual deciding factor. I like a bunch of these guys. I will say Chris Bell at least has the opportunity to become the wide receiver 1 on his team. So after taking Lemon at 5, I guess I'm probably just going to go for the highest upside, and I think Bell has that. I think they're going to be passing the fewest out of the Panthers and the Ravens there, and even the Commanders possibly as well. But I think Bell's a very good player. I think he can emerge as Willis's top target. We shall see. Could crash and burn. Could be high risk, high reward pick.
Yep, I agree. I'm going to follow that up. I'm going to take Antonio Williams. I was going to take whoever you didn't take between Antonio Williams and Chris Bell. Antonio Williams, I think he has a spot to get another. He can compete. It seems like he's probably going to compete for the slot role with Luke McCaffrey, which again, it seems like he can win that job. Jaden Daniels comes back this passing offense should be better than it was last year. Plus, Terry McLaurin is not like. I feel like you say the name Terry McLaurin, you're like, oh, 27 years old in his prime. He's like 33 years old, which is crazy. So they're going to need some help very soon. And I think Antonio Williams has as good of a chance to step up as anyone else.
Agreed.
That brings me up with Team 7. We went tight end in the first round, so obviously a bit of positional flexibility here as far as what we're thinking. I'm going to go running back, and I'm going to take Mike Washington. And reason being is twofold primarily for me. Number one, coming into the draft, I really liked him. I agreed with, a lot of people having his stock rising. Going in, he winds up going in the 4th round to the Raiders. So the second year in a row, the Raiders have drafted a running back. Obviously, it was Ashton Jenney last year. He's still the guy, right? But if something happens, who else is there? There doesn't seem to be a lot to me in terms of reliable depth. So Washington would become that. It's going to, be a slow year or 2 while the Raiders continue to try to figure out the offensive line. I'm not sure how well they'll be as far as a running team this year. I think it'll be a little better than last year, but still some things to figure out there. But in terms of long-term upside, Washington's not going to be getting, the crap beat out of him as the lead guy week in, week out. So perhaps down the road, this pays off. He might have a little longer shelf life than some other running backs, and the talent is there.
In the same vein with my next pick, we're going to keep a running back. I thought you'd go with him, Nick Singleton. I don't know many players that had their draft stock fall more than him for not only coming back, but breaking his foot at the combine. But the fact of the matter is the 2 guys before him are in their last year of their contract. And to be honest, I don't think Pollard and Spears have done enough to warrant a second contract there, at least as the guy. I think Pollard's gone, and then is Ty Spears going to be your number one guy? Hell no. So Singleton's probably going to be more of a special teamer, change of pace back. But I mean, to get running back 3 on this team, you got to beat out Michael Carter. I'm not worried about that. So long term, I think he's one of the higher upside running backs here, and so I like him in the late second. I mean, who knows if he becomes anything, but decent value.
Very fair. And before we get going with this next pick, I do want to advertise games.flurrysports.org. We got daily trivia games here, every single day. Definitely go and check this out. You can create an account and then rise the leaderboard, compete with us. Still in beta version, but you can rise the leaderboard here, try some things out. The daily games refresh every single day, something brand new for you to play, and there's more games going to be added. And then you got all these other quizzes here that we are continuing to add on to. There's even more here. And you can play these as many as you want, share them with your friends, compete with your friends. Games.flurrysports.org. So we got a daily quiz, multiple choice quiz, timed quiz. You can get a bunch of points. Snap decision. This is almost a rock, paper, scissors type of situation. You're shown a defensive play. You have to choose the correct offensive play to move the ball, score the touchdown. We got who's that player? Bless you, Luke. You're given, or I don't know why. I didn't even look. I just assumed that was you. I'm not sure what this says about you. Who's that player? You're given clues, and you have to guess who the mystery player is that day. The more hints that you get, the fewer points you earn. And then clean sweep, you're given a prompt, and you have to choose all of the correct players to fit that prompt. You can cash out if you don't want to risk your points to get every single one correctly. But if you can get a clean sweep and get all of the players correct, you get the most points. You rise the leaderboard. So go check that out. And we need as many play testers as possible. If you find any issues, like I said, it's in beta, definitely let us know so we can get it fixed. And if you have any ideas that you want to see added, let us know that as well. So please go check that out. But at 109, I went with Mendoza with the first pick. I'll go with the wide receiver this pick. I think Brazel and Surratt are in very similar situations, but one has Bryce Young throwing them the football and the other has Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go with Elijah Surratt. I think he's the better player. I think they're very close, though. But yeah, it truly is the quarterback deciding that for me.
Agreed. Best quarterback in the NFL. But I'm going to go with De'Zhaun Stribling here. And I don't really love this pick. But I think he's a guy who San Francisco's got a weird receiving room. It doesn't feel like he's a key contributor right away, but he was their first pick this year. San Francisco traded back to the first pick of the second round. They felt like, it was kind of a reach on it. And if you're taking someone with your first pick, it probably means that they're going to contribute sooner than later. So I like that as a guy that I'm looking to add to my team right away. I think that walk cautious with this pick because I'm going to imagine that Stribling is probably going to be, even in redraft, maybe is going to be like everyone's fantasy sleeper because he's such a big body and they drafted him this high. I don't necessarily know he's that good of a player. And Henry, maybe you can speak more to him than I can, being an Ole Miss guy. But he's a fine player. I just don't know where he fits in this offense right away. But I think down the road, Mike Evans probably doesn't have much time left in the NFL. If Stribling can be anything, there's definitely a spot for him on the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, people will take him more seriously, too, once they trade Ayuk and once Juwan Jennings signs somewhere else. Then it's like, okay, right. Now we know for sure what this receiving core is.
Yeah, that's my main thing is everyone killed San Francisco for making the pick when they did early second round just because he wasn't mocked there, so it's terrible draft value or whatever. Sure, you can have that argument, but Stribling is a solid player. Like he can run different types of routes. He's big. He can shed tackles working in the open field. So I like the pick, honestly, for them. I just look at it and say, all right, they traded out of the first round. They accumulated some other draft capital, and Stribling was the guy they wanted. So as far as your pick here goes, Luke, if you didn't take him, I was going to, because to me, that says clearly the team believes in him. So
that's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah. So team 11 up here, Concepcion was the first round pick. I'm again going to, I guess, double down on wide receiver here with another one of my three teams. let's go with. I've been kicking these two guys around back and forth. Give me Skylar Bell. I know the Bills are a run-heavy offense, um, and that's obviously what they're going to continue to do this year. But opportunity still, to me, knocks in this wide receiver room, even after the DJ Moore trade. I don't know that that's going to be quite what some people think it's going to be or are hoping for from a fantasy standpoint. Obviously, after that, Khalil Shakir's still around. Keon Coleman, do we know what he is? Can he take a step forward? Don't know. I think Skylar Bell has some versatility in how he can be used, but he can also be that reliable possession receiver that fits perfectly with how the Bills like to throw the football. I feel like every time Josh Allen throws, it's 5 yards down the field, at least last year. That has changed here in the past couple of years just with how they're running the offense. So to me, Bell fits in there. It's probably not going to happen right away, but I think there's a path where he can be productive in the offense.
We're going to keep the wide receiver run going. Give me Ted Hurst.
Good pick.
Tampa Bay has a lot of wide receivers, obviously a crowded room. They still felt the need to get this guy at pick 84. They have Ibuka, they have Godwin, whatever he becomes coming back. But Ted Hurst is a big guy, which draws parallels to Mike Evans, obviously, because Mike Evans was there for a while. But he's also got some speed to get downfield, too. I wouldn't call him a burner, but I mean, he's got good speed. You can throw up the ball to him. I mean, I look at all these receivers. I mean, we look at some of those guys. I look at really every position. I don't see any super big playmaking possibilities here. So I'm going to say, wow, wide receiver in Tampa Bay, they love to throw the football and they invested in them. Sounds good to me.
Very fair. So I'm going to go with Brazel then with the third pick or the first pick in the third round. He's very clearly the wide receiver 2 in Carolina. I'm not a cokehead, I guess. I don't know. Every time I say something about the Panthers offense, I'm like, oh, now they got a wide receiver 2. There's so many people who like Coker. It kind of baffles me. He's like everyone's wide receiver 1 of all time, I feel like. I don't know. Brazel's good at football. And with Ted McMillan drawing top coverage away, I think Brazel could be pretty good. And I mean, shit, he plays in the NFC South. How tough is it to find some success?
Good point. The guy that I'm going to take here is going to be Jacoby Lane. And for one reason and one reason only, I am a basketball fan. I like basketball. This guy is a basketball player playing football. Not that he is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins was a basketball guy playing football. And even last year, I know he wasn't used much. DeAndre Hopkins made some sick catches. Jacoby Lane's going to make some sick catches, and you would rather have that on your team than not have it on your team. So he's a fun pick. I don't expect him to be anything crazy, right? But he's a guy who'll go up and make a one-handed catch.
100%. He's fun.
All right, for me here, let's go Max Clare with the Rams. You might have mixed feelings about it, but the Rams obviously liked him. They took him 61st overall. We know they love to run 2 tight end sets, multi-tight end sets out there. We know there are a lot of bodies at the tight end position as far as the Rams depth chart is concerned. However, I don't have all the contract situation details for these guys memorized, but Colby Parkinson feels like a letdown when he drops meaningful passes. Um, Tyler Higbee seems like he's always hurt. So I think there's a path to playing time. He's not going to be necessarily the go-to, but I think he gets on the field. And I think as guys move on, etc., that role could potentially grow. Obviously, the future of the Rams 2 years from now might look very different in terms of quarterback and head coach, but I think he's a solid overall player as well.
For this pick, I'm going to need some participation from you three. I'm going to list receivers. You tell me if any of them are worth a damn. Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin. Any of them?
I love Darnell Mooney.
I also like Darnell Mooney, but to play your game, Trevor, no.
Jalen Hyatt is
fantasy.
fast.
I think
Slayton's
he's fine.
always like a 500-yard guy.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Point I'm making, Malachi Fields here.
Yeah.
Drafted at 74. I like Darnell Mooney too, just for fantasy. I mean, he doesn't really do anything for you. But big receiver, 6'5". Neighbors drafting #1 coverage. They invested in him again. I'm looking Dynasty late. Who has been invested in? Pick 74. Giants obviously need multiple options. They have some tight end options too, kind of. So I like him. He's got kind of a low floor. I mean, who knows with Giants receivers, but big body receiver. What's not to like about that?
My pick here.
I'll make my pick. I'll pick my pick first.
Oh, you're up. I'm sorry. I got too excited.
No, you're good. I know you did. It's tough to keep track. To be fair, I don't even know who I'm going to pick anyway. I guess I'll pick. I don't like anybody a ton at this spot, but I took 2 wide receivers. I won't take a third wide receiver because of that. Best available, I think, is wide receiver, but I guess I'll just take a random chance and go Carson Beck here. Do I think he's good? No. But I do think he's got moxie, and I think no other quarterback on the roster is good. So I think he could eventually become the starter there. I think that's their hope. Like, they took him pretty early, so there's certainly hope he's the 2027 starter.
I'm going to argue the same thing with my pick. I'm going to take Drew Aller. I think they liked enough of him to take him in the 3rd round. What does that say about Will Howard, who I thought is a fine quarterback? Means there's probably some competition for a backup, and we got to stop playing the game that is Aaron Rodgers come back. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. You get a year in the same room as Aaron Rodgers, so that's hard to pass up.
True.
On top of Mike McCarthy being kind of underrated quarterback developer,
guru, whisperer, mastermind, rocket scientist, Mike McCarthy.
Oh, better place with him in it.
It is.
So, I'm gonna do something that feels a little off to me, and it might just feel off based on where he went in the draft, as far as he had a massive slide relative to expectations. But Deion Burks lands with the Colts, and Alec Pierce is the one after getting his fancy new deal. Josh Downs is there. Deion Burks, arguably kind of a similar skill set to Down, but he is suited to play outside as well. And after that, you're looking at Ashton Doolin. Laquan Treadwell is on the depth chart. Nick Westbrook-Akine came in the offseason. I don't know if that does anything outside of the random touchdown that gets you 10 fantasy points for no reason every other week, it seems like. But I'm a big Daniel Jones guy, always have been. I'm riding that horse into the ground. I will take a shot on Deion Burks, who I thought I was surprised that he went so late in the draft, like back in the 7th round. We're talking based off what he did at Oklahoma.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a good player. I like him.
I am going to go running back again. I'm going to go with Katron Allen. I don't love him as a player, but I think Washington has a horrendous backfield. I don't trust Rachaad White. I hate JCM. I don't like Jerome Ford, McNichols. Don't like any of them.
Weird running back room.
It's weird. And if I'm looking at somebody to break out, I mean, Katron Allen sometimes has troubles getting caught up with, so you can question his speed. But like, it's a running back room where nobody's ever done a damn thing. So I'm gonna hedge my bets and get a rookie in round 3.
I will also go running back. I'll take one of my favorite running backs of the draft, Iman Claiborne. Always hurt in college. Like, he got hurt basically every game, or he didn't play. He was banged up all the time. But I think he's electric. I think once Aaron Jones gets hurt, he's just going to fill that Aaron Jones-like role. And I think he's going to be a really good complement to Mason. So taking a risk here, I suppose. Like, I think he's going to be drafted a bit later than this mostly. But like, I think his time's going to come, and possibly quicker than a lot of people think.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to follow that up and say I think there's a guy on the board who has participates well in training camp. I think there's a spot for him right away in the team. It's Navy's Eli Heidenreich, right?
Fuck you. That's a great pick.
Shout out Navy. I'm a Navy guy. Navy Army. I'm always rooting for Navy. But he's a guy who's an awesome receiving back. He doesn't not really anything crazy physically. Hardworking guy. He's a guy that comes on the field, if he, makes something in training camp, we know that Aaron Rodgers is not scared to throw to running backs. We know that Aaron Rodgers is not scared to throw to guys he likes. And I would imagine as a hard-blooded American, Aaron Rodgers is going to love the Navy guy. So I would it shock me if Heinrich scores 3 touchdowns this year? I don't think so.
We talk about how Packer fans love saying he carries the G. Pittsburgh fans love scrappy motherfuckers, and boy, they're going to fall in love with him quick. He's a great player. I love him too.
Yeah, I can see him carving out a Danny Woodhead-esque role.
Probably. Yeah, it's a great name too. You don't think of Mike McCarthy saying his name in a Pittsburgh accent.
Right.
Like it's match made in heaven.
That's a fun pick. We're going to stick with running backs, and I'm going to stick in Indianapolis. And there's 2 main concerns when it comes to Seth McGowan. One is just his overall running style, bit of a plotter, not a whole lot of explosivity on tape. The second is character concerns. He actually got dismissed from a team a few years ago, resurfaced eventually in FBS at New Mexico State, and then he jumped to Kentucky, and he was quite productive here this past year. I think he has great size. I think he has a path to being Jonathan Taylor's perhaps the backup to him right out of the gates as a rookie if all goes well. DJ Giddens was drafted last year, kind of is what he is. Ulysses Bentley they signed after the draft. I know him well from Ole Miss, but he's not contending to be the RB2 in Indianapolis. So McGowan's the guy who I'm willing to take an upside chance on late 3rd round and beyond for sure in rookie drafts.
I'm not going to draft him, but special shout out. You just scrolled past him. Dean Connors sounds like the most Sean McVay white running back of all time for the Rams. But I'm going to go Cade Klubnik here, and I hate myself for doing it. But, I mean, the Jets quarterback room is absolutely garbage. Geno Smith is absolute trash, although I do like him. I do like watching him as a non-Jets fan. But, I mean, who's to say Cade Klubnik couldn't be the starter for the Jets by week 2 if the dice rolls correctly?
Just gonna say Geno.
Geno won't. He will be the starter until at least week 7, unless he gets hurt, at least. But I mean, it's the Jets, so like, if I'm gonna take a pick here, I'm already kind of taking flyers. I don't like anybody else. There's a quarterback that could potentially start within the next 2 years on a team that will need to pass the ball and will be behind. So why not throw a dart at the board and see if it sticks?
Before the season starts, I think we should place bets, like have little season-long bets going. And I think mine with you is going to be Geno Smith's finishing position. I think he's going to maybe, or the bedroom. I think I love Geno Smith wherever. I was thinking fantasy, but I don't know. Is he a top 16 guy?
No,
I'll convince you of it. He might be.
No, you won't. There's a reason the Jets
took 20 for me. He's top 20.
There's a reason the Jets took a quarterback in the 4th round. And
Trevor, you're missing the point we talked about earlier, where they drafted these weapons, and if Garrett Wilson moves on, then that just opens up the young guys. And Aaron Glenn, he's on life support there, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what Woody Johnson's looking at, but he needs a good year. So I don't see him going away from the veteran.
Geno Smith
is the best offensive line Geno Smith has played behind in his career.
Geno Smith has had so many weapons before, and he's done fuck all with all of them. So I'm done with him.
Let's take a little trip to Geno Smith.
Let's try not to get punched in the face.
This closes the arc of his career. You have to be excited. Buy into the storyline. He's a changed man. And
Geno
I'm not
Smith
even a
is
Jets
Cody
fan
Rhodes.
anymore.
Let him finish his story.
Not on the field. He is not
generational run. It's going to be incredible. Let's take a look.
His
Geno
first name
Smith's
is Eugene.
Never done anything.
Let's be serious here. Eugene Cyril. Yeah, 21 touchdowns, 15 picks. Okay.
Led the NFL in completion percentage.
30
okay, and what happened
touchdowns,
the next year?
11 interceptions, 4,200. That's a pretty good year. And what's that star next to his name mean?
Yeah, how many
Bad
years
year?
ago was that?
4. Can I say something?
That's a long
Look at 24, 4,300 yards.
Yeah.
21 touchdowns, 15 picks. No, I'm good.
Who cares? Are
Sam
we
Darnold came into that
demoting people for
offense-
interceptions now?
Sam
I'm not.
Darnold came into that offense the very next year and won them a Super Bowl. He couldn't even get them to the playoffs, did he?
Did you see how often he was hit and he still completed 70%?
Not moved.
And he taught
Not moved at
JSN how to play wide receiver in the process.
Not moved at all.
You know how many times Geno Smith in practice was running routes and showing JSN how to do it?
Does not matter to me. What is he going to do with the Jets? It's the Jets.
Probably a top 10 year.
Every single time the Jets have something, they ruin it or it falls flat in their face. If Aaron Rodgers didn't work at the Jets, granted some of his injury, we think Geno Smith is going to. Come on, let's be real here.
I do.
Frank Reich's there now.
Geno Smith might not be top 20. He might finish the season top 12, if I'm being completely honest.
Stop.
Thank you.
I am a Geno Smith guy. I went to bat for him. I was the only person in the world who went to bat for him last year, and I was wrong.
That's not
in doing
true.
So
That's not true.
I was one of
I
the
was
only
with
people
you.
to go. Yeah, and it didn't work. Hand up, it didn't work. But I think if you put anyone in that Raider system, that was not going to work last year. I don't think that was Geno Smith's fault. I think if you have
No.
any sort of offensive line, right, the 17 interceptions look really, really bad, right? But if you give him more than even more than 75th of a second to throw the ball, those 17 interceptions, 19 touchdowns, 17 interceptions probably turns into 27 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So you're putting him on a much better offensive line with much better run game, with much better weapons, with Frank Reich at quarterback, by the way, or at OC, on top of Aaron Glenn having to have a good year, on top of, these draft picks where it's like, hey, maybe Geno can stick it out for 2 years, then we can really develop a quarterback. This is his first year. On top of his career coming to a hole here, as Henry said. Trevor, when you got off the draft, I said there's next year when I'm doing quarterback streamer pickups, I'm going to be talking about why the fuck is Geno Smith owning 2% of ESPN leagues every single week.
Now, Luke,
I'm going to bang that into the drum. Geno Smith is not going to be drafted. I'm giving my postseason award away. Geno Smith is pickup of the year for next year.
Now, Luke, let me shoot down your argument with one fucking question. One.
Yep.
If he went to any other school outside of West Virginia, would you give a flying shit about him? No. If he went to Delaware, would you care about him? No. If he went to New Mexico State,
what are you saying? I don't care about Joe Flacco?
That's rude. Luke,
I stand on it. If he didn't go to West Virginia, Luke wouldn't give a rat's ass about Geno Smith.
He's got Bob Huggins' toughness. That's another added bonus here.
Battle tested on the streets in Morgantown.
He can't even quit correctly. Bob Huggins is not tough.
Oh, he's so tough he's not quitting. He said, it's still my job.
Huh?
Damn right.
If he was tough, why would he let his wife retire for him or say anything for him?
He got duped. He was confused. Tough guys get confused all the time.
That doesn't sound like a tough man.
Tough guys don't need to use their brains.
Nope. And look at this. This is his last year in Seattle. So 2 years ago, 16 overall. I'm not talking quarterbacks. This is overall. Geno's up. And let's go back to 2022, since that was such a terrific year. This is overall. Geno Smith was 5th overall.
Is
that good?
Justin Fields was 6th that year. And
good year.
Justin Fields is fantastic for fantasy.
Come on.
I know that I've been, I'm dramatizing this a little bit, but I honestly do think that Geno Smith is a better quarterback than a lot of people are giving him credit for after he had no time to throw the ball last year.
None. He got smacked in the mouth his entire Seattle career too. Like he's had no offensive line, and now he has an offensive line that's okay and good receivers,
guys.
And he's going to be playing from behind every single game. He's going to be top 16
every year. I don't know how we haven't caught on to this yet. Every year this happens with the Jets. Let's not fall into the same trap. Austin Eckler was in the top 20 there. That's how far back that was.
He won me a championship this year.
Yeah.
I already
proved to you 2024. Like I went back because just to show you how good he is. It doesn't matter.
The only negative point Luke brought up.
I'm so confident he's a top 16 quarterback. Like, I don't know how he's not.
I think he'll be 15 or 16. I
That's
think
not
top
true.
12 is crazy.
You laughed when I said top 20. You're backtracking because we're right.
Can
Top
I add
20 I could see. 15 or 16 is where he's going to land. Top 12 I laughed, yeah.
how many games do the Jets win this year, Trevor? They're probably behind in a lot of games. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
I'd have to see their schedule. I'd say they're probably good for 4 or 5, maybe.
Seems
He's
like a
throwing
lot
the
of
ball
throwing.
against Miami. He's throwing a ball against Buffalo. He's throwing a ball against New England, who you can't run against. It's going to be okay.
All right,
Geno's
sorry,
gonna be
Henry, I
perfectly
cut you
fine.
off there.
I almost forgot my point. The only negative, like downside you mentioned in your epic rant there about Geno was that he had 17 interceptions last year, and that doesn't look great. But let's be honest, he only played in 15 games. He didn't give a shit. He wanted to lead the league in some statistical category, and he did it, and he didn't even play the full season.
It's a good
So
point,
it's
Henry.
not
It's
a
a good
negative.
point.
And he didn't have Brock Bowers.
You
Good
think
point.
by
Who's he throwing
week 6, Geno Smith was really trying? I watched some of the throws he made. It was a joke of a season for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good point.
It was not, and he made some of those receivers good, which was ridiculous. He had some insane weeks.
On top of having that scumbag Pete Carroll as his head coach.
Damn right.
I'm not gonna burst besmirch Pete Carroll.
I love
They
that.
went
That's not
they
true.
went to Foxborough week 1 and beat the eventual AFC
Damn
champion
right they
Super
did,
Bowl
Trevor,
representative New England Patriots, and after that they got the letter from Tom Brady. All right, we stuck it to my old team. Feels good. Time to go get the number 1 pick.
I didn't even
And
think
Geno
about all
was
the
like, "Hold
secrets
my
Tom
beer."
Brady told Geno Smith about New England. Now you get to play him twice.
To be
Right.
fair, Vrabel was probably busy fucking Diana Rossini for the last month at training camp, so he probably wasn't all there yet. So I don't know about that.
That division's cooked. The Jets might fuck around and win this division. That's all I'm hearing.
No shot.
Can
The
I?
Jets aren't going to finish higher than 3rd.
I told you guys, we talked about him at the end of the draft stream. The next day I started looking at more stuff, and I am way too positive all of a sudden.
There's no way this could go wrong. That's what everyone's saying in New York right now. Best team in the state.
Yeah.
We're done. I think that's where we need to end it. Best
No,
team
I
in
have
the
a-
state, New York Jets.
I have a theory going by that I wanted to run by you guys that I've been kind of creating in my mind. So you guys got to stick. You guys got to stick with me on this one because it's going to start outlandish at first, but I might be able to tie it all together. Okay. You know how Michael Jordan, like, his success comes from being a basketball player, being the GOAT of basketball, and he's kind of transcended into an all-out. Like, he has a shoe company. He's got this brand. He's more than just a basketball player now, right? It feels like, when you hear Michael Jordan, you think of him as a basketball player, but really, he's a god. He's a god almost, right? That's how I kind of feel about cheese. Okay, I'm in. I got into this argument.
I'm listening.
I got into this argument that at work that people didn't really like ice cream, right? And so I made the point that said ice cream is good, and I'm not a huge dairy guy. And the guy's like, "Well, what about cheese?" And I said, "I think cheese kind of transcends dairy. Where cheese at its core is dairy, but it's almost like when you think of dairy, you're thinking of the milks and the yogurts and the eggs of the world. You're not thinking of cheese. Cheese
Yes,
is
you are. Yes,
no,
you
cheese
are.
is
What are you talking
cheese
about?
cheese is above dairy. Cheese is a god in the food community, and I think it does transcend dairy. Right? Am I wrong on this? I tried to make this
you're
point for
100%
about.
correct.
You're wrong.
I tried to
You're
make
wrong.
this point for about 10 minutes, and nobody would listen to me. And I knew this was the right crowd to talk to about. But I think
It's
I'm
wrong.
really right on this.
No.
You are.
No.
I like you saying that about yourself, but you are correct. Not only does it transcend dairy, like just from common sense, but it also, like, the people who are lactose intolerant, they can eat cheese a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, just scientifically, it transcends dairy.
Lactose intolerance can eat a lot. They just deal with it later. It's not like
I'm
they
just
die
saying
if
they don't even have an effect. If it's like a hard cheese, it doesn't affect them. And also,
don't know
lactose
about
intolerance
that.
not even real. So,
that one might be true. That one I might be able to get on.
a lot of people are lactose intolerant. Everyone's lactose tolerant when it comes to cheese, 100%.
Yeah, I might be
100%.
biased in this. I might be biased given the culture that was surrounding me when I grew up. But I really think cheese might be the Michael Jordan of food.
No.
That's interesting. I will make not better, but a similar comparison with the Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan became the first really like international superstar
Right.
athlete, right? And that's why Jordan brand launched and all of that.
He transcended basketball.
100%. And cheese transcends Wisconsin, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is Wisconsin cheese," and everyone freaks out about it. Pretty much the only thing a lot of people know about Wisconsin is cheese. A lot of things that only anyone knew about the USA or anything anyone knew about
Yeah,
NBA
good
was
point,
Jordan.
Zach.
Like Wisconsin's kind of the NBA in this sort of, or the USA, really. We are pretty patriotic. But yeah, cheese transcends Wisconsin in a similar patriotic way, really.
Yeah.
What the fuck did I just listen to?
Yeah,
I think you've hit it.
Yeah, I've been stewing on this for a while, and I just unleashed it to the wrong crowd, and that's probably a misstep on my part. But I think, like I said, I think this is the right take.
Everything Michael Jordan touches turns to gold. One of his drivers has won half of the races through 10 to start the NASCAR season. Don't know if anybody knew that. He primarily is the owner of one of the race teams that started a few years ago. So my question would be, if Jordan wins in the NBA and he does it from a brand standpoint, and now he does it in something like NASCAR as well, and cheese, you made the comparison cheese to Wisconsin. Where does cheese go from there? My other question is, Luke, you said people don't really like ice cream?
No.
That's
the people that no. The people that I was talking to specifically said they did not like ice cream. That's a wrong take on their part.
Okay. I have an
that's
issue
a
with
bad
those
take.
people, though. So,
But
all right,
also, before you answer that question, are we talking all cheese encompassing? Because there are some nasty ass French cheeses. Blue cheese is fucking disgusting.
Blue cheese.
Some of the cheeses are awful, where they have like maggots eating it. So, are we talking about like the pillars of cheese or all of it? Because if it's all of it, I'm definitely out.
It's cheese.
Goat cheese is great.
It's the idea of cheese, just like it's the idea of Jordan. But to answer your point, Henry, to answer your point, Henry, of where cheese goes next.
Great point. That's a fantastic point.
I love it. Pointing.
I was pointing at Henry, but no. So I'm going to transition into pointing to Zach, where cheese goes next. Zach has drank cheese vodka on this show. Cheese
100%.
is getting into the liquor game.
I had ice cream this weekend in Duluth that had goat cheese in it.
Yeah.
Cheese can go anywhere.
I'm going to point back at Luke just because.
Oh, do it. Well, you also talked about anything Jordan touches turns to gold. I mean, Wisconsin gold is cheddar cheese. People call it that already.
Yeah.
There's
so many intersections going on right here. It's incredible. Yeah. Luke, you've done something.
Yeah.
I'm almost at a loss of words. This is kind of mind-blowing.
I know.
Does Wisconsin touch the cheese? Does the cheese touch Wisconsin? Which turns one? Did the NBA
turn
Jordan to
everywhere
gold?
the sun touches.
The term
I think Wisconsin turned cheese to gold first, and now cheese has the same impact that Jordan does outside of the NBA in other areas.
Okay.
Cheese in Wisconsin is certainly a symbiotic relationship, if we're being completely honest here, where they both make each other better. This is Bill Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing each other at UCLA in practice. This is one makes the other better. I think Wisconsin is the best state in the union, and I think that cheese is the best food in the union. So do with that what you will. This is also another working theory that I should probably run past you guys. Think as a whole, the best collection of food, the highest hit rate on food, is the color yellow.
Interesting. So lemons,
beer,
lemonade.
Beer is more of a beige.
Similar to lemons,
cheese,
but new category for sure. Yeah.
Cheese, banana pudding.
Oh, fucking A. Banana pudding's so good. It's by far the best pudding.
So
vanilla wafers are also yellow. Put that on top of that. Incredible.
So my theory kind of ends because I just landed on cheese, beer, and lemonade. If I'm being honest.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, pasta, that's yellow.
Yeah.
You don't like them, but eggs, mustard, also true.
Are eggs yellow?
Yeah.
Or are they white because of the shell, or white because?
What's the best part of the egg? The yolk or the white?
Depends who you ask.
The white's good for lean. The yolk has fat.
We're
Butter?
talking
Lose weight, cut before
Wisconsin
meat,
gold.
you eat the egg
Butter.
white.
Well, if
A
you're
lot of
talking
dairy.
Wisconsin, all this shit goes out the fucking window because
Did
Wisconsin's
we say
a
corn on the
crazy
cob
state.
yet?
Corn on the cob.
That's a good one. You could have just said corn, but yes.
Corn on the
I'm not a
cob is better than
corn guy, but I understand I'm in the minority here.
People like
All right,
bananas. I'm not
well-
a banana guy.
Well, this has been enthralling, but I gotta go for my other word. But Luke, I don't think you have something, but
Honey?
the other guys think you do. So
Honey's a
Honeycomb
good one.
cereal, Pops. Trevor, you can clock out. Come back in if you got any more yellow food.
Golden grams.
Golden Grams are so good.
Banana
that's true.
runts. Banana Laffy Taffy.
True. Lemon candy as well, for sure.
Lemon heads. Yeah.
This is just a side note, not to derail all of this, but I didn't, during the draft stream, I think I said Burger King's by far the worst fast food restaurant or something along those lines.
I don't think you said that because I would have disagreed with you on it.
I thought we were ranking them. I thought they were one of the bottom. However, it came to my attention today that they have pink lemonade. And I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either. That's
So
a game changer.
And it really makes me rethink a lot of things. But
Yeah.
lemonade, yellow, pink lemonade, better. So does that mean pink is better than yellow just because of how much better that makes that?
Pink might have a spot on this list if we're ranking the best food colors.
For sure.
Pink
sure.
bubblegum ice cream.
Not a fan.
Speaking
Not
of
where I
Burger
would've
King,
gone.
I don't know when the last time was I even had Burger King. I'm not a fast food connoisseur. We have our go-to spots when we want to do something like that, and we leave it at that. But I think Burger King, it might be a sign, all of this, the pink lemonade, the Burger King, all of it, because earlier this week we got 3 pages, like full-ass pages of identical coupons, not one, but 3. So I don't know what happened there, if they got stuck and the guy just said, screw it, or what.
No.
But we have a
Yeah.
lot of money to be saved if we want to eat Burger King like 3 times
Yeah.
a week for the next 2 months.
Henry, welcome to Wisconsin. Burger King like dominates insert ads in newspapers.
They do. They really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Arby's does good work too, at least in
Yeah.
Eclair.
Yeah.
At least they did. Trevor made a fantastic point for garlic bread, so I think Trevor's really coming around would be my guess.
Yeah.
Randy's jumped in with some questions here as well. So favorite cheese, I think previously, Luke, yours was like an extra sharp cheddar. Has that
Yeah,
changed?
it's very, very aged extra sharp cheddar. I know it's hard to get aged sharp cheddar. It's so expensive and it's hard to get. I think you can find 5 to 10 year. That is by far my favorite. And I love blue cheese. Trevor shit on blue cheese and we just kind of pass that over. Blue cheese is incredible.
Oh, I didn't.
Blue cheese is like, this is going to sound blasphemous as a Wisconsin guy. Blue cheese just beats the absolute living shit out of ranch in my mind.
Oh, 100%. And
Yeah.
possibly the best blue cheese I've ever had is made in this small fucking unincorporated town I live in, Mindoro. If you ever
Yeah.
get some Mindoro blue cheese, it like wins awards in the national cheese thing. It's very good. Very
You need
good.
to write that
Yeah,
down.
blue cheese
That's
is
a thing
incredible.
that's a thing from Western New York though too. Like if somebody orders buffalo wings and they get ranch to dip them in, like we fucking laugh at them.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So no,
you
Henry-
have to get blue cheese.
Henry, you're Wisconsin ranch. Like people baptize their kids in ranch. Ranch is, it's big in the Midwest, but I don't think that it should be. That's my take.
I
love a
never
good
get
ranch.
ranch with anything.
Ranch is cool. If I get a house salad, I want ranch.
Right,
Or Thousand
agreed.
Island on the occasional one-off day. But for wings, I almost feel like ranch for us is more like it's fun to like figure out a way to put it into a recipe. Like she does a good chicken ranch cheese type of dish that incorporates ranch, but for wings, it's not even a debate. Like, what are you doing?
Ranch is
Sure.
too safe. It's too safe.
It's
Good
just
way to
not that
describe it.
good either. But I talked about pickle ketchup on the show before. There's also a pickle ranch, and that does make it better in my mind. Anything
Oh.
that make it more vinegary, it's better.
Vinegar rocks too.
It does. It really does. Olive oil, another yellow one, by the way. And that's always good. Favorite beer, asks Randy, and I'm not sure if I can answer this. There's too many.
Yeah, it's it's hard for me not to say Spotted Cow, but that's probably a regional take that you go out and you get more. That's probably the beer that I drink the most. If I have to pick a domestic, I find myself drinking a lot of Coors Light. Yeah, I go through stretches where I do Paps.
Mhm.
Summer beer, I leave it certainly for summer. Just is Corona. I love Corona in summer. But I guess gun to my head, you say, Luke, you can only have one beer the rest of your life. I'm probably taking Spotted Cow, but again, I know that's probably just a Wisconsin take that I can get outside of. I'm willing to change my answer on that.
Sure.
I don't think you have to. Like, I have it more now that we're here, but it is very good, and that's coming from somebody who obviously is a transplant, for lack of a better term. I personally like Blue Moon a lot as well.
I like
Yeah.
Blue Moon a lot. However,
Oh,
what I've come to realize, it's not worth the risk for me, because if I get a Blue Moon, I expect an orange with it, which always makes my day. But if they don't give me an orange, it ruins the entire, because I'm pouting about it the entire time. Like, where the fuck's my orange?
Yep.
Zach, you'll agree with me on this, but maybe the answer is actually the Lemon Haze IPA.
That is really good. Have you had I think they just call it the Imperial Summer Shandy from Laney's?
Maybe not. Is
It
it new?
tastes just like, yes, it tastes
Then
just like
probably
Summer
not.
Shandy, but I think it's 8% ABV.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
it's double.
I'll get that this summer.
The whole thing, at least for me, it's like I've drank so many Summer Shandy at like summer concerts and stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
I just gotta piss and I'm not drunk either. But
Right.
this will, I think, destroy a lot of families. It's
Okay.
it's a good beer.
It's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I use destroy families as a positive sometimes.
Right.
So yeah. I like Spotted Cow. I almost think I would do Castle Danger Cream Ale as
Yeah.
better than
good.
it, which is Minnesota's version up from just north of Duluth. That's very good. Or I really like, and it's kind of combining a few things now. I really like Line and Kugel's Summer Wheat or Sunset
yeah.
Wheat.
Yeah.
That's their Blue Moon, Henry, but they also add blueberry to it. So it's orange and blueberry. It's very good.
I like it.
Seasonal.
I'll throw a vote for Moon Man too. A lot of people don't like Moon Man that I've come across, but I
good.
love Moon Man.
Actually, my favorite beer, I take it full back, but they haven't had it for the past few years, is another New Glarus. It's their apple beer. It's like apple soft. No, that's something else. But it's their apple beer that it's seasonal, but I don't think they've had it the past few years. That's the best beer I've ever had.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. They only sell 4-pack too. They don't even do 6.
Okay, interesting. Before we get to more of Randy's questions here, I just have one question for you guys. I know, Zach, I know you. I think you're a pickle guy. Henry, I don't know if you're a pickle guy. Pickle vodka kind of rocks.
So good in a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
And apparently, I think it's Pabst is coming out with a pickle beer.
Oh, I will be drinking a lot of those.
Yes. It sounds like the perfect chaser for a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Yep.
I forget which restaurant it is. Somebody's coming out with like a pickle sandwich bun or like a pickle. Oh my gosh, I can't
Jimmy
remember what
John's
it is.
used to do that.
Jimmy
Popeyes.
John's. The pickle hoagie. Yeah. That
sounds like
I wouldn't touch that. I have a sad history with cucumber vodka that I'm not going to get into right now, but
yeah,
do not recommend. And pickles overall, though, I'm cool. I like my my bread and butter chips.
Yeah,
I like them too.
Popeyes had a hard on for pickles for a little bit, where they did like pickle lemonade.
It did. I never got to go try any of it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they had pickle everything. Sure, it's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is green? Pickles are green? I guess pickle juice is yellow then, and pickle juice is great.
Good point. And if you're sitting at home and you like, hey, I don't have pickle vodka and I want to try it. All you need to do is if you got like some Tito's, pour some Tito's in a shot glass with a little pickle juice and a splash of Tabasco, and that's pickle vodka.
It's great.
Yeah.
I would do that and then do a shot of whiskey afterwards as well. Make a night of it.
Do you think when Ashton Jenny decides to splurge and have a drink, does he drink that exact drink? Because he drinks the pickle juice anyway. So does he do exactly what Luke just said and says, sure, I can have an extra drink because I'm getting my pickle juice, preventing the cramps at the same time, just with a kick?
It is a smart way to drink.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's a very smart way to be an alcoholic for sure.
Mhm.
Something to think about. Do we want to answer any of Randy's other questions here? Do we think Isaiah Thomas should have been on the dream team? I don't know.
I mean, the answer is yes. Right. The issue is the Jordan feud and whatever, and I get it as competitive as a standpoint in competitive basketball. That's kind of something that's kind of missing from the NBA now. But the real question on the dream team is Shaq should have been over Christian Laettner. Nobody ever brings that up because they wanted a college guy to come in, and Shaq is like one of the greatest college players ever. He's sitting there, and they go with Christian Laettner, which is fine. I get it, but Shaq should have been on the dream team.
But I mean, it's the dream team because of what it did. So I don't want to disrupt it. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not going to be that guy. Worst food you ever had? I don't have an answer. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
There's some gross stuff out there, but I don't know. I don't like fruitcake. Fruitcake's bad.
Weird. Really? It's weird.
The only time I ever had it too, I did it as a bet. I had people pay me to have it. I still almost threw up, but I had braces still, and it got caught in the braces. So it was a bad situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is I don't know. I don't really have an answer for this question.
Bubblegum ice cream.
No, it's bad. Come on, guys. You guys eating pink bubblegum ice cream?
I know. I'm not 100% sure. I know you say pink's way better than blue.
Yeah,
so
you guys probably had the blue.
Them. Okay. Sure. My bad. That's my bad. Any other answers for that? Are we ending it?
I mean, British food, like I've never had it, but I see pictures of like beans on toast and like, what are you eating?
I tried that a couple months ago because I got the actual beans they use, that blue Heinz can. It's fucking gross. Even if we used our beans, it would be better. The beans they use, they're like tomatoey. So they're not even like a sweet baked bean. It's bad.
Yeah.
No wonder we won. Like, it's insane.
I don't have anything else to add to worst food, but just to get Randy's last question in here really quickly. I think Roman versus Fatu at Backlash is what it is, but based on Monday Night Raw, looks like Fatu is going to be the heel, at least for this match, and that's what I've been banging my little drum for quite some time. So he's not going to win, but I'll take it.
Can I ask a question that may make me sound like a dumbass in the wrestling sphere?
Go for it.
What's the appeal of Roman Reigns?
I hate him, so
okay.
I'm been asking that for 15 years, Luke.
Like, I don't follow wrestling at all. Some of the podcasts I listen to, I know there's wrestling guys, and they talk about it, a little bit. And it always seems like we get into these huge, hyped up, whatever you want to call them, and Roman Reigns always wins, and everyone loves him so much. I'm like, because I look at wrestling guys as guys with personalities, like John Cena. I love John Cena. I never watched 1 second of John Cena wrestle, but he's got personality, right? Dave Bautista's kind of a similar thing. What does Roman Reigns have some kind of personality that I'm missing? Is he some kind of character? Or he kind of feels like a golden boy who doesn't really do anything crazy.
So here's go for it.
Sure. So before he aligned with Paul Heyman and became the tribal chief character that he still is trying to hang on to now, he was the most bland company face ever. Like, there was nothing there. He couldn't do anything on the mic. So I look at it and say Heyman elevated him, and a lot of people like him now, even though he was a heel during that whole reign, but now they're kind of flipping him to be face is the direction it seems like it's going. But still, though, I don't like how his cousins have to get caught up in it. I don't like how he's like manipulates people and that sort of thing. Like, just there's cringe elements to it, and I typically support the heels. So, Zach, I don't know what you were going to say specifically, but before Heyman, there was no character there whatsoever, and it pissed me and a lot of people off, I think, when he was good.
Well, okay, so Heyman is notably, he's a manager. They always put the people who are good on the mic with the people who they want to be big stars and are big but are bland. So notably, they even think he's bland. That's why he's with Heyman. So there's that. But why is he so popular and whatever? One, cousins with The Rock from a historical wrestling family. Okay. So he's kind of built for this as well. Two, before his big championship run, now why he's like the top of the chain or whatever, like he came back from having cancer. So he had got that push as well. So like the diehard wrestling fans like him for that. And then honestly, like I don't like it, but at its peak, they did the bloodline thing. So, like I said, he's from like a historical family, and his actual cousins and stuff like that are with him and stuff. Kind of badass. Like we're from this royal family, essentially, is what it is. So the whole mystique and character around it, I think, is pretty good.
Okay.
Execution with him, like I think he's boring as shit. I don't think he's even that good in the ring. And he
None of the
walks
Samoans
super
are.
slow, which is one of my biggest pet peeves of all time. So he walked pretty fast at WrestleMania though, so I have to give him props for that. And he has a good outstanding shoe game. Outstanding.
okay.
Shoe game.
Fair.
I have two other thoughts on wrestling before we end here. One thought is, again, I've never seen him wrestle. I've seen him in a couple interviews. Cody Rhodes seems like a cool guy. Seems like a fun guy to root for. And two, well, I'll give you one first if you have any opinions on that.
Nerd. I think he's a nerd.
Oh, okay.
He's very old school. He's also from a historical wrestling family, or at least his dad. But he's very old school in the ring, which doesn't excite me. So a lot of people like him, not for me.
Wrestle's slow as shit. We talked about that, I think, watching Mania.
Yeah.
And then my number two thought would be, when he retires, it feels like Draymond Green is perfect for WWE.
He would be. He'd be very good. I don't know if his body can take it, but I think on the mic he would be very good.
I can't I'm trying to think of incredible personalities in professional sports who could move over to wrestling. I think Draymond Green is probably the guy that fits that, right?
Draymond's great. George Kittle is good and is always there, obviously.
I guess.
I think Tyrese Halliburton will try it and he will fail because he
got shingles.
That's exactly right. No one will want to touch him. Only his own locker room. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be more. I mean, there's a million Steiner kids coming up now. One just signed with the Ravens, I think. Signed somewhere in the NFL, and he's going to be in WWE once he finds that NFL.
When I'm thinking of this, like it feels like George Kittle comes in and he's like a fan favorite, and people are going to like really rally behind him, right? I'm thinking of guys who are going to come in and just be hated, right? Like you bring, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but like I feel like Logan Paul is probably a guy like that who comes in and everyone hates him. Like Draymond Green feels like a guy who could be that. I had another name in my head.
To be honest, if any athlete comes in, diehard wrestling fans will hate them.
Okay.
Inherently, just because they didn't put in the time.
So Henry, maybe this one's a little bit for you, maybe not. Feels like Bryce Harper might be able to fit this mold a little bit.
Only baseball player I like.
Yeah, he's a dickhead and he's awesome.
Could see it maybe. Yeah. Out of the MLB pool conversation, I don't know who necessarily off the top of my head would be better.
Yeah.
What was the name of that closer who had the big long beard? Wasn't he with the Giants? Sergio
Brian
Romo.
Wilson. Oh, Sergio Romo's a good one too.
Brian Wilson, yeah, one of those guys. Like if I'm thinking of former baseball players who I would have liked to just entertain the idea of them giving it a shot. Those are a couple of closers. Closers have that personality.
He has to have it. He has to be a psycho to be a closer.
Yeah.
I think, this might be a deep pull, but maybe Ipe can come out of prison and be like a manager for somebody. I think he's got a good gimmick. I think that could be great. He'd have great promos to cut against Shohei, all the dirt he's got on him.
I was going to say, can that be a gimmick like in WWE where a manager and he's like secretly placing bets against his own guy? That could be fun.
It could be. I'm sure they've done it. I have no idea, but it'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's done it. I feel like that's a JBL thing. I'm not sure though. Who knows? Okay. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, that was a good riff after fantasy football talk.
True. I'm really gonna rack my brain about the color thing though.
No, I want you to. Can you spread that take to your circle about Jordan and cheese? Because I want to see how that's received.
I think that's the big
I'm actually very on board with that. I wasn't even playing it up.
Yeah. I want to see how that's received.
Okay. We'll do some on the ground research and get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back next time. Go subscribe to @FantasyFlurry on YouTube, and this mock draft will live over there as well. Maybe not with the food conversation, but never know. We'll see. Okay. Peace. Goodbye.